Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Dead Space on the PC on Impossible difficulty, and this is my no damage, no hurt guide and walkthrough for the aforementioned title. For this first part in the elevator, you'll have one slasher dropping in after the other, so that's two dropping in total, and then individually I should say, and then you'll have a pair of them more or less dropping in at the same time. So I did want to mention that I've sold my contact beam. They gave me $24,000. They gave me a good price. They generally do. Well, why did I say generally? They always do. Things like this are set in stone in a game like this. I was dissatisfied with the contact beam. It wasn't working out for me, and I just don't think it's as good as the line gun, and I don't want to have more than two guns right now. So I think it's overhyped a little bit. I don't care for it, so this gun that I'm using right here, I'm not gonna have it anymore. I might decide against that. I also am not getting the Ripper. I hate the Ripper. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. And I don't much care for the Force gun either, so I won't be using that. So that was a good pickup right there. So this is on deck B, and this is a single encounter versus a slasher here, and then we'll be in the main arena area. I threw that into there, but it's proximity here that's going to spawn this set of enemies. You're going to have two slashers. Just whatever you do, don't throw two of those waste balls into the smelting area, because then you'll have a double spawn, one on top of each other. You'll have these guys plus the lurkers. I've had as many as 3 of these guys before, but there's generally only 2. So there he is right there. I'm not sure why I had 3. Sometimes it's not as set in stone as that, but once you throw 2 of these energy, well, they're not. There's some kind of a waste that's causing debris. So you'll throw 2 of them in there. That one's unreachable. You'll throw 2 in, and then you'll have the lurkers. So after that, you'll throw the other 2 in there. Have a period of inactivity. You should go to the node room door. Get all your pickups in there. Save your progress. Go to the store. Go to the bench if you need to. But this is going to be the lurkers over here. So the nice thing about this game is generally you will hear the enemies before you ever see them, which gives you an indication that they're coming, but from where are they coming, it's hard to say sometimes. My line gun is two upgrades short of having the damage all the way maxed out, but as you can see, we're killing these enemies in one shot. So now this fight over here, spawn it by hitting the panel, and then we're going to move over here and anticipate these 2 enemies here. It'll be a pregnant, and behind him you'll have an exploder queuing. So just stun them, or I should say immobilize them with the stasis. Just watch out that you don't burst the pregnant's belly by the exploder, or use the exploder to burst the belly. So just freeze and make sure you turn. And look at this bitch. Look at this bitch. That was too funny. That was great times right there. Things like that just put a smile on my face. But you can use these exploders to kill the bulk of these enemies, and there's plenty of room to move around here. Just quite a lot of these exploders, so just make sure you use your stasis to the best of your advantage over here, and just never assume there's nothing behind you, because sometimes there is nothing behind you. Nobody's closing in the distance, but oftentimes when you take something like that for granted, you'll get an exploder dropping in on you unexpectedly. Okay, there's just one exploder left to take out, and then we'll have a couple of fairly easy scenarios, and then we'll have what I would kind of define as a trilogy, so to speak, because we'll have one ride in the cart, one sequence where you're protecting Nicole, and then another sequence when you're riding back in the cart. Now, the only thing that ever gave me trouble was riding back into the cart. The first 2 sequences, which the first of which will be right here, I never died on this. I never failed it. Same goes with the next section. So that hopefully that will give you some comfort, some small comfort. Sometimes you will get a little bit lucky in just the momentum of the cart that you're in. Even if the enemies have locked onto you as a target, just moving along at the pace of this cart won't get you hit. And it took me five, maybe 6, maybe even as many as 7, but surely definitely not even approaching 10 number of tries to do coming back here. But it was pretty difficult, just because you'll have some more of these on the sides, these pods with the tentacles that come out, and also some lurkers. But if you want to, you can bring some of these canisters with you, and it's not too bad. The next section as well, what I proposed to myself was that since I'm doing this no damage, then I'll make sure that Nicole takes no damage over here. It wasn't hard at all, and if she had gotten hit, you know, there's a checkpoint right over here, and I would have kept persevering, but I definitely won't be doing any on-rail sections without taking any damage, because, you know, it's not even you taking damage, it's, you know, like the hull integrity or something like that. I don't care one bit about that, but I wanted to preserve her life. So you can use some of those red cylinders at first, and they work really well. Just remember that there's going to be a lurker coming to the left at some point, and possibly an enemy on this side. But if you hit him off right when he tries to mantle over the railing here, you can just hit him off. So this is pretty simple, especially with the line gun. And at this point, I don't think I have the width upgraded fully. So if you have, or the damage, I think I'm 2 damage values away from maxing it out in that category. But this is far and away like the best weapon to use in this sequence. Hell, it's not even hard with the plasma cutter, really. So just coming back gave me the trouble. So I think that section's done. Just make sure that you move all the bodies off and you get all your drops that you deserve here. So coming back now, you're going to have one of these on the left side right away. So this has been the only first roadblock that I've come into, but it didn't deter me that long. And you would think that the line gun would be like your saving grace over here, but the things that are obstructing you, like the branches over here, or the, you know, whatever they are, those little columns, those twisting columns, those get in your way. And also the bars that are holding up this cart too, they get in your way too. So that's why I'm electing to use this gun here, because sometimes the line gun, excuse me, it just fails you, you know. So I would suggest just being very attentive, swiveling the camera around as quickly as possible, learning the patterns of those things that drop, and just be aware that there probably is no checkpoint here. I've never failed. This was the only time I got to the end of it without taking any damage. But I just imagine. See, these guys are not getting killed because as fast as I would like them, because of the obstructions that are in the way. Simple as that. But it's pretty difficult. Just keep restarting. Or, well, there is no restart from checkpoint feature. My mistake. And the mine gun, why do I keep calling it the mine gun? Because I'm thinking of the mines that see, that was very lucky right there. But it's very easy to self-terminate with this particular weapon, because if you fire a mine into the ground, you can just stand there. You know, if you've taken damage and you want to quickly expedite reloading, then what you would do is just fire a mine into the ground. It might take 2 if they're not upgraded very much. Now this is also kind of a battle over here versus some of these parasites coming out of the boxes, so I decided to keep it in. But yeah, that was a pretty hard section coming back in that cart. I would say it's the hardest section so far, just because it stymied me a few times, but it's not excruciating. So I also kept this sequence in here. Coming off of the bench, you'll always have this guy spawning in, so you want to drop him as quick as possible. Possibly stasis him, because where we're going, you're going to get access to a stasis machine, so there's no threat about that. So I do hope you have success with that part, and I also hope that you're enjoying watching this, but I do hope people use it as a guide to take no damage. And I also realize that the rapid cuts that I'm doing, some people might be skeptical, you know, well, Vic Benedict, he's doing most of the fight, but then he's getting damaged, and then he's just not putting that footage at the end of it. No, there's nothing like that going on whatsoever. I'm as honest as you could possibly come across on the internet, which is pretty goddamn rare, and me admitting it kind of, you know, it takes the, you know, without somebody else being there to vouch for you, but I just don't have anybody else. You know, this is the internet. We're all kind of on our own on the internet. But in this part here, we've got a couple of the more infected leapers. This guy always comes out on this vent here, always, guarantee that. And then the third one will spawn in after a certain amount of time has passed. So I've kept all this in. You'll probably want to get an air canister for yourself. So just listen for the strands of that music. You know, the really intense, scary music that cues when there's an enemy in the vicinity. It's helpful. It makes things tense, but it tells you right away, hey, there's somebody coming after you. You better fucking kill them quickly, or you're gonna be a dead bitch. But I do. This is one of those projects where I would rather it was helping people more than giving them entertainment value. And that usually is my goal. I mean, I always want people to enjoy my content. And also, I seem to have dropped that beacon really quickly somehow. Maybe you double press the confirm button. But just watch out for this, because there is no checkpoint. There, see? I dropped it really quickly. I don't know how I canceled out of those animations. Maybe you drop it and press B to cancel. I can't remember what I pressed, though. So I find it kind of shameful that there is no oxygen resupply tank out here. And if there is, they hide it very well, because this is my second campaign. Watch out for this guy coming around the corner slowly. Stasis him. And I kept this in too, just to make sure that everybody, you know, that was really lucky. But I just kept this in to make sure nobody was going to say, oh, he didn't include this part, so he probably got damaged as he went through it. There's no tricks going on here, anybody. I haven't come across anybody that was going to say there's tricks going on, but I'm doing this because I like to do this, and it challenges me, and it offers me some amount of stress relief. So what this sequence is here is that you approach the door, and it's going to lock, and you'll have that guy jumping out of that vent every single time. This guy is a little bit more random. Back off, stasis them accordingly, and you're going to have this darker one coming up from the right, and I think from the left. Pretty damn certain I just did this. So it potentially is a hard room, but so far it's been a fun project. But it's been I don't know, it's not that hard of a game once you get pretty versed in it. But this is riding back up to the elevator now, back to level A, and there's just one of these guys that will drop in on you. Look how much HP that guy has. Incredible. And then you'll have a broken divider over here. I mean, these are the 3 appendages that are moving around this room over here. And for some reason, the one in the tank area over there to the right, he perished of his own accord. I don't know how it happened. Maybe he just glitched out, or he ran into something. But that's the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.